Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk with Toy Ifesaye. And today I have with me Mr. Aderemi. Mr. Aderemi is a system and security engineer, and he has years of experience in risk management and information security. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Oh, thank you. We finally had to bring you here. So let's discuss. You are a system and security engineer. Can you give us like an overview what that is about?
Thank you. Systems engineering. It's more infrastructure, enterprise. Systems, and then looking at the security aspect, also talking about cybersecurity. So it's basically, yeah. I'm looking at the systems part, the servers,
Okay.
yeah, and then I'm looking at the security aspect also, which is vulnerabilities, threats, and the likes. So the truth is they go hand in hand anyway. You can't be a systems engineer, without being a cybersecurity specialist, right?
So how has been the journey so far? Tell us about your
It's been
success journey.
interesting. It's been interesting because for the systems part, you're looking at your normal hosts, and you're also looking at networking systems. You're looking at firewalls, switches, routers, right? And cybersecurity is evolving with technology, 5G, IoT, and also, yeah, there's so much to learn. A lot of new things are coming up. You're learning, and you're putting yourself out there. You're seeing how attacks are being done by threat
Okay.
actors. It's very interesting. It's interesting if
Okay.
you're on the safe path anyway.
So you see, I want to believe that you didn't just start as a system or security engineer. There was a journey.
Yeah,
So I understand that you studied computer science, or what was your
mechanical
major?
engineering.
Sorry,
Engineering.
computer engineering. Okay, so what was
Mechanical
that
engineering.
mechanical engineer? So what's the correlation and what's the?
Yeah,
Please let
good
us
story.
understand. Yes, we want to hear that story. It's
Okay.
important for our audience.
Okay. So I'd say largely it's environmental factors or societal factors that caused it. Although the interest has always been there. While I was in school, I do play with computers a lot. I've destroyed
Okay.
so many, trying to learn. So yeah, it was a journey, right? But coming out of school, I couldn't get any opportunity in the area I wanted. But something came up in tech, and something I love to do, design, something area of design using Photoshop
And
and
the
all those
legs.
and the likes. Yeah, so I took on the challenge. I did that, and that paved the way, for
Wow.
me to
Wow.
start my career in IT, basically. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It paved the way.
Yeah.
So I from your bow, I can see that you have experience. You had worked in a manufacturing company.
Yeah.
You also have worked in a consulting firm,
Yeah.
and now you're currently in an oil and gas organization. I would
Yeah.
like to also understand the transitioning and why the manufacturing, the consulting. What is the thing that just aligns that allows you just change the job?
Okay, so for IT, I think we're a bit fortunate because tech is tech, you know,
Okay.
everywhere you go. Although the approach is different because for different organizations they have what they call business preferences. Like
Okay.
for consulting, they offer services. They are not
Okay.
manufacturing, so they rely a lot on business applications, which they use for offering services to their clients. So in that case, the IT infrastructure primarily will be focusing on hosting more, hosting
Okay.
those applications which are useful. So but if you are in the manufacturing environment, they'll focus more on things that help them collaborate to be able to carry out those manufacturing activities, and then things that help them with their maybe monitoring or metering, measuring production basically,
Okay.
so
So they
that
have
the
certain tools
exactly
that
that
they
the
use.
leaders can look at and say, okay, yesterday we produced ABC number of goods. Today we are doing BCD, and then they can look at the trend over the year and say, okay, January we did 12, February we did 15, March we did only 3. What happened in March? Things like that. So that will be
Okay.
their priority, right?
Oh yeah.
And then for oil and gas also is similar. They use mechanical tools for drilling, and for bringing out stuff. So their priority is more of sensors, HMIs, and also the tech that is important to each of them. Each aspect is very, very different. But I would say that you need to start from somewhere, right? And
Okay.
that's what I did. And then you have to be open-minded also. Don't say because you are here, this is all they are using, this is all I will learn. No,
You
you
know.
need to keep your eye outside, know what's happening in the industry, learn, upskill,
Thank
and
you.
all.
So you see, I'll take it from the workflow, the different applications that's each that is unique to the sectors that you've talked about.
Okay.
I know that you have an ERP software. For instance, you have for SAP, you have for Oracle, you have for Microsoft. For those who are probably doesn't know what an ERP is, it's enterprise resource planning. Now, I understand this actually helps to ensure that the workflow process, is automated, and I know that it's quite unique. But for someone who apparently is looking at, okay, what kind of automation may be a bit neutral and applicable to all, such that he or she can groom himself in. Now, this is away from the system engineer, is away from the security. Now, it was just because you talked about these unique tools application. So, is there any suggestions around that?
Hmm. The problem is to find that middle ground, right?
Okay.
Because SAP, ERP, they are technology tools, but they are used more by people who sit in between business and technology, right? But for cybersecurity, for instance, you tend to use monitoring tools such as SolarWinds,
Okay.
tend to use tools like Nozomi that can, connect to your network infrastructure and pick, data from every single device, from your switch network to the normal PCs that you're using, to your work, to your servers, whatever it is, because that's what's important, right?
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
stage. So it really depends. It depends a lot on the area that you want to function in.
Mm,
Yeah, basically that's what I would say.
mm.
And then it also depends on your interest. Like
Okay.
for me, database has not really been my thing. So so anything I tried, I
It
did.
didn't
I,
work,
yeah,
right?
it didn't work. Right, I did it at some point out of necessity because as a server or systems person, you host databases for these applications. So at least you need to know how to maintain it. Just the
Yeah.
basic. You need to know you have basic skills in it, right? But like going deep into being able to build a database by yourself, no, 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 no.
So that takes, I remember my own experience, from what you have just mentioned, that it's important that you align your passion. So I have this uncle while I was trying to find my path, and he suggested that I go into computer, I should study computer science. Yes, I had interest. I liked anything that has to do with computer. That was just an innocent mind at the time. I just knew I liked the computer environment. And but when I got into school and I said, I got the admission as a computer, I mean, in the computer science department. And then I needed to start focusing on something that, may be like an interest for me. I remember we had those days we were doing some programming languages. And then I remembered my uncle. He was working in one of the banks then in the IT department. But I noticed his hair. Everything is white. He was just barely 30 something years. So that alone scared me. So I had this mindset that programmers don't have time for themselves. So you see, in short, for me, it was a no-no. I said, and then I also tried the database, and I just knew I didn't like, my project was data mining. It wasn't interesting for me, right? And when I discovered that, I was able to discover my own interest, right? And I really can align with what you've said in terms of your finding your passion and aligning with that. But
Yeah.
let's go into the emerging technologies now, emerging technologies. Let's talk a bit into that. What do you think we should look out for 2024? Like, what emerging technologies can we start building our competence in?
Okay. Definitely it's AI. You
Okay.
know, in fact, I think AI is has already started
Yes.
because you have open source AI everywhere now, ChatGPT
Mm-hmm.
and the likes
Mm-hmm.
that do basic functions, help you with your CV.
Mm-hmm.
They can write a code for you, a small
Mm-hmm.
program. They can design a website for you from
Mm-hmm.
A to Z, without lifting a finger. So it's already happening. Yeah, and AI is playing into the cybersecurity space now, with the XDR, MDR that all these companies are coming up with
Yeah.
now, that can replace an entire security operations center,
Wow.
right? Yeah. And when there's an incident or an event, maybe a virus attack, a malware attack, usually takes them about 2 to 3 days,
Even faster
end
than
to end.
the
Yes. So, but
the
the AI now
humans.
does it
Okay.
in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yes. So that's
Wow. So we need to
technology.
start scaling up
And I
because
can tell you some of the big players in oil and gas and manufacturing are already using it. I'm telling you, they're already using it. So it's good, but I have this let me a point of view which is not so good for me, because I feel it probably will take away a lot of jobs.
mm,
The good side to it is that it's an opportunity for people to also learn something new,
mm.
transition in there. But at the end of the day, AI does what 100 people will do
So in terms of
faster.
taking
So
up off the job, I may not want to come from that point because I know that whatever artificial intelligence or robotics that is built to tackle a problem or to create a solution, there must be a mastermind. There must be a direction. There must be somebody who apparently may have to either give the directive.
no, you're correct, but
So those
you're
jobs
correct, but
can definitely spring
you're
up.
correct, but one person that is, very, very technical, knowledgeable in machine learning, AI,
Okay.
Python, can handle multiple AI
Yes.
implementations. Yeah. So which means that one person can replace
About
yeah,
the
a
entire
thousand
system.
people. Do
I
you
do
understand?
understand,
So
yeah.
but of course, disruption in technology is
It's
not
bound to
today.
happen.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly. It has been
yes.
from the past. You see what happened to BlackBerry
Yeah.
when other people were
Trying to,
transforming. Yeah,
yes.
they stuck with what their trade, and it affected them negatively. Even
Yeah,
Nokia
did.
are still trying to find their
Just,
feet. Yeah, so we have to evolve with
yeah.
technology. That's
Okay.
just it. It's either you
Just,
swim or you drown.
yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So that's it. Technology is always evolving. So you need to you need to keep scaling up
Yeah.
to just ensure that you're not outdated.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at cloud computing, right? Because you've actually mentioned the security aspect, like that's what you do, risk management to mitigate against
Threats
breaches
and
and threats
vulnerabilities.
and the
Correct. Yeah.
likes. Now, those days or back then, we know we still have servers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the workload of that company, right?
Mm-hmm.
We some organizations still have their on premise,
Yeah.
and but now we have more of people migrating into the cloud, and there that there's an increase in threats. There's an
Yeah.
increase in breaches, security breaches. So, what is that? What exactly would you advise? Um, a person to start if you someone who is apparently looking into going into security, would you advise that they start concentrating in that area in the cloud computing aspect, or they just look holistically around? So just give
That's a
us your
very
side.
good question. So the fortunate and unfortunate answer is, as a security person, you should be well grounded,
Okay.
because security cuts across several platforms. So when you're coming into an organization as a security expert, you are helping them to protect their platforms. They are not aware of which platform they are using.
Oh, true.
They may be using cloud, they may be using on premise, whatever it is. So you need to be as rounded as possible. Preferably if you have opportunity to get your hands dirty in those areas, in hosting, in cloud computing and all, it's good experience, because when you know it, you are better positioned to protect it. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but for cloud computing, I would say people are smarter now. When cloud computing started, a lot of people rushed into it without understanding how it works fully. So people just store files on the cloud, and are paying for infrastructure resource. Meanwhile, they found that they didn't need to. So probably maybe one or two applications that they have is what they
Was
actually needed
enough,
to
was
host. Yes.
sufficient enough for
So
them.
then they now started going for, okay, let's just use the software as a service, the SaaS service,
Mm-hmm.
and that has reduced their
Mm-hmm.
cost, and that's helped them to
Mm-hmm.
achieve their objectives. So people are smarter now, and for security, they usually contract it to the party, the cloud OEM, wherever it is that they are hosting, if it's AWS or
Mhm.
Microsoft, they make them responsible for the security of the application, whatever it is that they are doing. So
Okay, cool. Thank
yeah.
you. So, how can aspiring professionals identify the right career path? This cuts across the different aspects in an IT organization or department in quotes or technological platforms.
Yeah.
So that means that you have the software, you have the security aspect, you have the design
Yeah.
aspect, the
Yeah.
user interface, those words. So
Yeah.
depending on
Several.
whatever, what do you think? What would be your general advice?
Okay, okay. Since you said general, because
You give us the
I was
general,
about
and then you
to.
can now come down to the security.
Okay, okay. So I think it depends on the environment you find yourself. So I would say we should try to find a balance between your interests and the
Okay.
environment you find yourself, because you also need to work
Okay.
to earn money. You need to
Yeah.
earn to make a living. So you
Yeah.
can't say, okay, the only job that is available for me is database. And because I do not love database or I don't like it, I'm not interested, I'm not going to do it. No. So we need to weigh our options. If there are a lot of options for you, fine, go for it. But if that's the only option you have, realistically speaking, depending on your environment, of course, you should go for it, because all experience will count at the end of the day, right? But it doesn't mean that you go there and then you stay there. No, when you
Mm-hmm.
get there, you keep developing yourself in that area that you love, and you
Mm-hmm.
keep looking for several opportunities. I know a lot of people that was what they did. They started with what they could get their hands on, and then they started upskilling in other areas. And thankfully, tech still caught up, because even as a database person, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry I keep using database
Yes,
for
please go
my
ahead. Go
colleagues,
ahead.
because database can be very boring. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
right.
Yeah, so but while doing the database, you get to understand and work with different teams. Work with the applications team, the hosting servers team, and also as you're working with them, you learn from them. You humble yourself, learn from them, discuss with them. If that's an area you like to do, upskill yourself and look for opportunities in that area
Mm.
while you are where you are.
Okay, so one more thing. I want you to talk about opportunities available in the tech industry, right? A lot of people, there's this noise about tech. So let's know what the opportunities are.
Okay, so right now, to the best of my knowledge, I think cybersecurity is going to bring more opportunities,
Okay,
because it doesn't require technical skills. Although
okay.
technical skills will help you to be a better
Mm.
security
Mm-hmm.
specialist, yeah, but it doesn't require it. There are
So much of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There are a lot of courses you can do, certifications you can do. And once you have it, you can't even pass it without knowing the nitty-gritty. And once you're able to pass it, you already know the basic things that can
Mhm.
help you, to start as a cybersecurity professional. So I would say definitely cybersecurity. Then agile is another area.
Oh,
Agile Scrum is
wow.
another
Okay.
wonderful area which you can delve
Why
into that.
agile? Why agile?
Agile is a new way of delivering
So
projects or
agile
products.
methodology.
Yeah, the agile methodology. So different companies are now implementing or imbibing it now,
Mm.
as opposed to the waterfall approach which was
Oh,
used
okay.
before.
Before.
Although waterfall is still good depending on the type of project, but
Yeah.
most, especially IT projects in particular, we've seen agile delivers more value, because as you are doing the project, you are constantly iterating and you are
Okay.
constantly checking with your
Your team
customer.
members are
Yes,
customers
yes, to make sure that that value is there, and
at the
and
end.
yes, not that you have done everything and then you give it to your customer and say this is it. Then your customer say, who asked you to do this, or who asked you to enhance? So as you are doing it, they are looking at it and say, okay, nice, I like this, can you add this? Yes. So at the end of the day, when the package is ready, it makes a lot of sense. I think that's another area. And these
Mm.
things are new. I'm trying not to talk about the traditional IT. So they are still
Mm.
there. Oh, the
They are still
programming
the
is still
yeah.
there. Computer programmers are and will forever be in
Oh,
demand.
but trust
So if
me,
you can manage
software
it,
engineers
yes,
are hot
yes.
cake.
So even data science
Yeah,
and all, they
they're
are,
hot
they are
cake.
equally programmed. So if you can,
Yeah.
it's good.
These are also very lucrative career paths that you can actually consider. And like you had rightly mentioned, you need to find your interests. That's the number one thing, right? Okay, so before I finally let you go, because I know you have a meeting and you have to go. So, but just
Okay.
want to narrow it down. I want to be sure that we're able to get everything that can help somebody out there to either change their career or get on in what they have and become more professional. You mentioned cybersecurity, right? But I noticed you didn't mention the different certifications available. But I know from my own experience, I know that it's indeed important that you have fundamental skills, which is networking. Hmm? So can you help us with other certifications that is somebody who is aspiring to become a cybersecurity expert can delve into?
Okay. Okay. Let me answer the question from two different views, right? There's a myth. There's a myth in the tech industry. Let me put it
Okay.
that way. Uh, Before you get a job, they usually ask for experience. It's rare that you see no experience. So then you used to have a lot of companies willing to train, but that trend has died down a lot. They are looking
Yeah.
for finished products now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do you help? How do you package yourself? Let me enter into the foundational certifications that
Mm-hmm.
you can do. You have the CompTIA,
Computer
security. Yeah, it's
security.
quite foundational. ITIL,
Yes.
very very good. And then you have
Mm.
the CCNAs,
Okay,
right?
the
Yeah, the
Cisco,
Cisco. Yeah,
CCNA,
there are three of them. I
associate,
think routing and
CCNP.
switching, security
CCNP has routing and
as well.
and
Yes, it does
switching,
as well.
and
Yeah,
then the T-shoot
yeah.
aspect, and then you also have your CCNP security. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's for the
So,
Cisco.
but the
Let's write
CCNA is at
them.
least still good for beginners to even start first. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? But I think that's a good career path also. So those three for me, I think they are one of the basic. Microsoft no longer offers the Windows Server operating system, which used to be very good then.
Mm-hmm.
2012,
Mm-hmm.
2016.
Yeah, a lot of things have been
Yeah,
retired.
yeah, they retired them because of Azure
Mm-hmm.
and the likes.
Yeah.
But Azure is still definitely very good foundational certification to do. You have AWS. You can't mention foundational certifications
Mm-hmm.
without
Mm-hmm.
mentioning
Yeah, the
AWS.
local
Very important.
practitioner.
Abroad is one of the most
Most
lucrative
lucrative jobs. Yeah,
certifications that you can do to get
certifications.
you a job out there. Yeah, so
Wow.
those are basic. So if you can do that in your spare time and at least have all
Okay.
that first. And
Thank
then if you have
you.
opportunity for volunteer internship,
Yeah.
volunteer opportunity, even if it's free of charge, it's good. So if you have
Mm.
that opportunity, you can also do that. So that by the time you're applying for that job and they're asking you how many years experience do you have, even if
Mm-hmm.
you're not earning any money, it's still experience. Experience is experience. So you can say I have
Okay.
1 year.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
sir. Yeah, talked about the different certifications that we also can consider, which is the networking, the Cisco security, the ITIL, the agile methodology, which is the Scrum Master, thereabout,
Yeah.
your business analysis, and the likes. So at this point, I really need to let you go. I don't want to let you go, but I don't have a choice because you have a meeting. So at this point, I would
Okay.
say a very big thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
taking time out
Thanks
to
for having me.
have this conversation with us and to encourage aspiring professionals out there. And to our viewers, please like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you.